Einstein and Mileva Marić, Myth, Letters, and Historical Reality, presented by Galina Weinstein. In 1901, Albert Einstein wrote to Mileva Marić about bringing our work on relative motion to a successful conclusion. This phrase has sparked decades of speculation. Did Mileva co-author Einstein's revolutionary 1905 papers, especially on relativity? In this lecture, I examine this claim through letters, archival research, and scholarly interpretations, and offer a grounded historical assessment. Einstein and Marić exchanged 54 letters. Of these, 43 are from Einstein, and only 10 from Marić have survived. These letters provide a unique glimpse into their relationship intellectually and romantically. Einstein affectionately called her Dolly. She called him Johnny. His letters are rich with scientific enthusiasm, often blended his love for physics with his feelings for Mileva. But Marić's own letters contain almost no scientific content. This is a striking asymmetry. While Einstein shares thoughts on contemporary physics, Marić's surviving letters do not comment on scientific ideas. People ask, one may wonder if Mileva's letters were not so carefully retained. In general, Einstein hardly saved any letters. Other people tended to save his for obvious reasons. Much of the co-authorship myth hinges on claims by Soviet physicist Abram Joffe. He said he saw the original relativity manuscript signed Einstein-Marić, using Mileva's maiden name in a Hungarianized form. But there are reasons to doubt this. Joffe's anecdotal recollections, including questionable stories like meeting Einstein on a park bench, raise questions about the reliability of his memory. And crucially, even if a manuscript bore both names, it raises the question, who removed Mileva's? The journal Annalen Physik had no policy excluding women authors. Editors like Max Planck and Paul Drude were open to publishing theoretical work by women. In 1919, when Einstein and Marić divorced, Einstein promised her any future Nobel Prize money. Some saw this as tacit acknowledgement of her contributions, but documents and context suggest otherwise. Marić was in emotional distress, and Germany was economically devastated after the war. Einstein likely offered the Nobel money as a financial settlement, knowing his win was inevitable. This clause was pragmatic, not a confession. Some feminist scholars have argued for a hidden collaboration. Santa Trommelplatz criticized the lack of credit given to Marić, but claims that Einstein deliberately erased her contribution are not supported by primary sources. John Stachel, one of the most respected scholars on Einstein studies, argues that the phrase "our work" in the 1901 letter is emotionally charged, not literal. Einstein often used "we" when writing to Marić in periods of intimacy or emotional turbulence. There are no repeated references to joint work, only that one line, and Einstein consistently referred to my work throughout his letters. Mileva was undoubtedly important to Einstein emotionally and intellectually, but her role seems closer to that of a sounding board, a role later played by Michaela Besso and Konrad Habicht. Einstein needed dialogue pattern, not co-authors. Historically, figures like Marie Curie or Tatiana Afanasieva co-published and continued scientific work independently. Marić did not. She failed her final exams, did not pursue a scientific career, and after their breakup, did not engage in physics again. Books like Einstein's in Love and Dasenka Trubovich Garudic in the Shadow of Einstein romanticize this narrative. Alleged quotes like, "She solves all the mathematical problems for me," come from fourth-hand recollections often passed down in Serbian folklore. These sources mix admiration with myth. As scholars, we must distinguish between poetic storytelling and documentary history. Mileva Marić was an intellectually gifted and determined woman. She pursued science in the face of restrictive cultural expectations and institutional hurdles. Yet her scientific aspirations were ultimately derailed, both by the challenges of an unplanned pregnancy and by Einstein's ethical shortcomings during that period of their relationship. We don't need to fabricate her contribution to the theory of relativity to appreciate her significance. Marić deserves recognition as a deeply important presence in Einstein's life, someone whose own aspirations were ultimately eclipsed by and perhaps sacrificed to the unfolding of his genius. To conflate emotional intimacy with intellectual co-authorship does her no justice. Historical clarity does not diminish Mileva's tragedy. It restores it to its rightful scale.